It is December 1st, 2023, and 76 years ago today in Hastings, UK, Aleister Crowley transitioned, or you could say he died. Anyway, this is the day that marks his greater feast, a feast for life, a greater feast for death. So, Constance has been reading up on the mystical, universal significance of Pentecost and things like that, and not from a particularly Christian point of view, but from the point of view of what great religious maguses or figures leave for humanity as a whole. And but anyway, it's sort of interesting that Crowley. What I'm going to read to you is an essay that Crowley wrote, and it published it in a newspaper or a newsletter type thing called the International in December of 1917, and I believe it was to a woman student who he refers to as the illustrious Demoiselle Anna Wright. Now, if Richard Kaczynski or other Crowley scholars out there may have some more biographical information about Anna Wright, but he's treating her as a companion of the Holy Grail, and so he's treating her as an OTO fifth degree, at least, Rose Croix kind of member, or something else that he had some other kind of mystical order or something that he had. And it's called an epistle of Baphomet to the illustrious Damoiselle Anna Wright, companion of the Holy Grail, shining like the moon. And it's called Concerning Death. And it might be that, well, I speculate that she was a nurse or somebody in healthcare, because there was so much death surrounding everybody in Europe in 1917, just like there is so much death surrounding everybody right now. I guess there's never been a time, but it's not always that we see such wholesale slaughter on a scale like we're seeing it right now, especially with non-combatant kind of people. Be that as it may, we've been thinking about death. Henry Kissinger died yesterday, and there's all sorts of jokes about that, and cartoons of Henry Kissinger in hell, and things like that. So anyway, so death is on my mind because today is the day we observe the greater feast of Aleister Crowley. And exactly to the month, 30 years before that, before his death, he wrote this little epistle that I'm about to share with you. And it's kind of interesting to note that he died in December 1947, and so much happened uh, just a couple, well, at the same time. Okay. Just 1 year later, in December of 1948, the United Nations ratified or declared a universal uh, Declaration of Human Rights. Now, there hadn't been one before. You'd think that there was sort of some kind of a social contract of some kind internationally, but there wasn't. And this Universal Declaration of Human Rights is sort of like a detailed uh, uh, exegesis, if you will, on how Crowley's Liber Oz, the rights of man, uh, might actually be exhibited by a civilized humanity. I think Crowley would have been tickled to death uh, with the universal rights of man because it mirrors in its own way so much of the recognition of the rights every human being has by virtue of breathing. Uh, so then India was founded in 48 and Israel was founded in 48. And of course, Constance and Lon were born in 48 too. So uh, the world changed dramatically about the time Crowley died. But we could say that about everybody in every year. Anyway, here's Concerning Death, an epistle of Baphomet to the illustrious Damozel Anna Wright, companion of the Holy Grail, shining like the moon. Concerning death, that she and her sisters may bring comfort to all them that are nigh death, and unto such as love them. Beloved daughter and sister, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Let it be thy will and the will of all them that tend upon the sick, to comfort and to fortify them with these words following. It is written in the book of the law, every man and every woman is a star. It is Our Lady of the Stars that speaketh to thee, O thou that art a star, a member of the body of Nuit. Listen, for thine ears are become dulled to the mean noises of the earth. The infinite silence of the stars woos thee with subtle music. Behold her bending down above thee, a flame of blue all touching, all penetrant, her lovely hands upon the black earth and her lithe body arched for love, and her soft feet not hurting the little flowers. And think that all thy grossness shall presently fall from thee, as thou leanest into her embrace, caught up into her love as a dewdrop into the kisses of the sunrise. Is not the ecstasy of Nuit the consciousness of the continuity of existence, the omnipresence of her body? All that hath hurt thee was that thou knewest it not. And as that fadeth from thee, thou shalt know as never yet how all is one. Again she saith, I give unimaginable joys on earth, certainty, not faith, while in life upon death. This thou hast known. Time that eateth his children hath not power on them that would not be children of time. To them that know themselves immortal, that dwell always in eternity, conscious of Nuit, throned upon the chariot of the sun, there is no death that men call death. In all the universe, darkness is only found in the shadow of a gross and opaque planet, as it were for a moment. The universe itself is a flood of eternal light. So also death is but through accident. Thou hast hidden thyself in the shadow of thy gross body, and taking it for reality, thou hast trembled. But the orb revolveth anon, the shadow passeth away from thee. There is the disillusion and the eternal ecstasy in the kisses of Nuit. For inasmuch as thou hast made the law of freedom thine, thou hast lived in light and liberty and love, and thou hast become a free man of the city of the stars. Listen again to thine own voice within thee. Is not Hadit the flame that burns in every heart of man and in the core of every star? Is not he life and the giver of life? And is not therefore the knowledge of him the knowledge of death? For it has been shown unto thee in many other places how death and love be twins. Now art thou the hunter, and death rideth beside thee with his horse and spear, as thou chasest thy will through the forests of eternity, whose trees are the hairs of Nuit, thy mistress. Thrill with the joy of life and death. No hunter, mighty and swift, the quarry turns to bay. Thou hast but to make one sharp thrust, and thou hast won. The Virgin of Eternity lies supine at thy mercy, and thou art Pan. Thy death shall be the seal of the promise of our age-long love. Hast thou not striven to the inmost in thee? Death is a crown of all. Harden, hold up thyself, lift thine head. Breathe not so deep. Die. Or art thou still entangled in the thorny plaits of wild briar rose that thou hast woven in thy magic dance on earth? Are not thine eyes strong enough to bear the starlight? Must thou linger yet a while in the valley? Must thou dally with the shadows in the dusk? Then, if it be thy will, thou hast no right but to do thy will. Love still these phantoms of the earth. Thou hast made thyself a king. If it please thee to play with toys of matter, were they not made to serve thy pleasure? Then follow in thy mind the wondrous word of the stele of revealing itself. Return, if thou wilt, from the abode of the stars. Dwell with mortality, and feast thereon. For thou art this day made Lord of heaven and of earth. The dead man Onkof Nakansu saith with his voice of truth and calm, Thou that hath a single arm, O thou that glitterest in the moon, I weave thee in the spinning charm, I lure thee with the billowy tune. The dead man Ankh Nakansu hath joined the dwellers of the light, opening Duant, the star abodes, their keys receiving. The dead man Ankh Nakansu hath made his passage into night, his pleasure on earth to do among the living. Love is the law, love under will, the benediction of the all-begetter, all-devourer be upon thee. And that's Crowley's essay concerning death. On this December 1st, the date we commemorate Crowley's Greater Feast. And that's it for today. Continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.